I am a lifelong resident of Westchester County. The last 27 years, I've been in here up in the northern part of New Rochelle with my wife, Deborah. We have three kids who went through the New Rochelle public school system, all very productive uh, citizens and adults today. I have a small law practice in Manhattan, where generally I've done a lot of business litigation, but we've also represented ununionized workers who've been taken advantage of by employers in the past, representing them in what we call plaintiff's employment law. The district, this is the County Legislative District number 10, which includes all of Tuckahoe, the rest of Eastchester that's outside of villages, so it does not include Bronxville. And then about half of New Rochelle, mostly the northern part, but extends down to I-95 and a few blocks below that. So I guess my district became famous, right? It was the original sort of ground zero in on the East Coast of the United States. And it was kind of a surreal situation to have all these national and international press people down on Lincoln Avenue, where I was volunteering to do. I've done a lot of volunteer work with food pantries, and you saw immediately what the impact was when businesses started closing down. People were out of work. Schools were closed. A lot of daycare facilities were closed, and the need just multiplied tremendously. Among food insecure people. People didn't have money to pay their rent. Fortunately, we got the moratorium in place. But, so the main part of my job, I think, was to get the correct information out as to what was going on and what to do in terms of testing and at that time, and what kind of measures you're taking, and also, reporting back up from the report from the ground. So I was in the neighborhood, in the neighborhoods, finding out what was going on there, getting PPE, to all the communities out, and even to the extent of making sure that the school meal program would go on, and that kids had Chromebooks, because we do have communities of need where they didn't necessarily have all the technology they needed for remote learning at schools. We've developed a proven record of competence and producing results and compassion. We've done a lot together with the county executive and the Democratic majority to improve workers' rights, women's rights in the employment field, protection for those buying and selling co-op apartments. That was first major count in terms of number of co-ops out there that do this. We've done immigrant protection. And then just so the basic constituent service stuff, people having problems as tenants or tenant groups, and just work on the big picture as well. Getting on this housing issue, just incentivizing developers to build more affordable housing, and just to housing of all kinds. It's again, going back to having children who are late 20s, early 30s, and thinking about how they would ever be able to afford living in this area. And so, doing the housing issues on the micro and macro level. Mm-hmm. The other thing I'm particularly proud of is my platform on daycare. We've gotten more support for daycare providers in these difficult times, and for the working families. And I think we have to do even more. There's the short-term benefit of getting people to work who want to work, and the longer-term benefit of the quality daycare for young children. It prepares them for school better, and even the very long-term effects. It turns out to be a great return on a little bit of investment by government in daycare. I hope you'll give me the privilege of representing you for another 2 years. This has been, I got into politics late. I first ran 4 years ago. I was 61 years old. And honestly, this is the best job I've ever had. Just rewarding to help people. The intellectual growth and emotional growth as well, and first being in the neighborhoods and see what's going on at the ground level, and researching policy papers and statistics and that sort of stuff on what works and doesn't work in terms of legislation, and pushing in the budget period, which is coming up, for those things you think are important, and finding savings or trying to convince folks of savings, because we take very seriously the public trust in us with your with your money.
Yeah.
And making sure that we are responsive to the various diverse communities, and it's a very diverse district in terms of ethnicity and race, but also in terms of ideology and politics. We have the full range, and they're all my constituents, and I owe them all the very best I have to offer. And nobody's ever convinced. Nobody's ever accused me of not working hard. They've disagreed with me on policy and ideology and that sort of thing. But I pride myself in working hard and working smart for the district.